Welcome to Sandwiches of History. It is Guest Host Friday. Our guest host today is a emeritus professor of philosophy, and he had me choose the recipe. When you sign up to do the guest hosting, you can find a recipe yourself or ask me for one, and you have the right to refuse that one if I give it to you. Turns out our guest host is into offal. Please welcome Tim.
When Sandwiches of History put out a call for volunteers to guest host, I excitedly signed up because I knew Barry could find me an offal-based sandwich. Offals are the non-choice offcuts. But let's face it, there is a difference, but not a huge difference between a filet mignon, a strip steak, a sirloin steak. And if those are the only cuts of beef you're eating, you're missing out on a huge selection of really fabulous ingredients, both to taste and to cook with. Just think about it. There's cheek, there's oxtail, there's liver, foie gras, there's kidneys, gizzards, heart, tripe, trotters, and so much more. We're going to cook with sweetbreads. Now, sweetbreads aren't sweet exactly. They're unctuous, they're rich, they're buttery, and they're delicate. They come in both lamb and calf varieties, and they are highly prized in European, Latin American, and Middle Eastern cuisine, particularly in France and Argentina. So, if people don't like strong flavors, sweetbreads are definitely a gateway of offal. You can find them in any supermarket that services a Mexican and Central American community. And if there's a butcher counter, ask for them because they're often frozen, which is fine, they freeze fabulously, but they may be stored in bag. So, without more further ado, let's get on and make the sandwich.
So this is how you make the mayonnaise dressing. I've divided the recipe into 4 because I'm only going to make one sandwich. So you first add the dry ingredients, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1/8 of a teaspoon of mustard, a pinch of red pepper, a light teaspoon of flour, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then we're going to go in and add the wet ingredients, which are 2 tablespoons of vinegar, 2 tablespoons of water, and a light teaspoon of butter. And then we're going to mix that together and pop that over a saucepan of boiling water. So we're heating the mayonnaise dressing base over a double boiler, and the instructions say to bring it up to a boil, which is a little difficult to do because the whole point of having a double boiler is so that you can't overheat whatever you're heating in it. But now we've got it nice and warm, we're going to temper the egg yolk. That is, we're going to put a few drops of the hot liquid into the egg yolk to bring it up to temperature so it doesn't immediately curdle when it hits the base in the double boiler. And then having whisked that in, we're going to pop that back into the base, and then we're going to heat it till it thickens, but obviously you don't want to let it boil. So this is your beef sweetbreads, and we're just going to pop them into water for about 20 minutes according to the recipe, and then we're going to take them out and peel them to remove this membrane. So this is what the sweetbreads looks like once they've been peeled. So we're going to cook them in boiling water for about 20 minutes with a little bit of vinegar, and then we're going to take them out and shock them in cold water. And after 20 minutes, we take them out of the water and we shock them in cold water to firm them up and cool them down. So to the chopped sweetbreads, we add some chopped celery, doesn't say how much. We add some chopped nuts. Doesn't say what type of nuts. There weren't farm-grown nuts at the turn of the 20th century, and the 2 available ones for foraging would have been walnuts, probably black walnuts, and pecans. So I went with some pecans as a good old American nut. And then some of the mayonnaise. Go easy on the mayonnaise, I think. I tasted it. It's got a lot of vinegar in it, so you don't want to overpower the sweetbreads because the sweetbreads are very delicate. So the recipe says to put that mixture between 2 slices of bread. It doesn't say what bread, so I've chosen just a simple supermarket brown bread. And there we go.
So let's give this sweetbread, pecan, and celery sandwich a go. It's really delicious. It's nice to have a bit of the freshness from the celery and a bit of crunch from the pecans. I'm very glad I cut back a little bit on the mayonnaise because I think if too much of that, the vinegar would have overpowered the flavor. But as it's just, it's a light touch of it, The acidity brings a little cuts through the richness of the sweetbreads, and it's got a little bit of heat in it from the mustard and the red pepper, which I actually scraped out of the bowl and actually got into the mixture. But I do think I want to plus it up a bit. Thought long and hard about what to plus it up with. I think it's a very delicate sandwich. So most of the things, even a slice of tomato, I think would be too much. So there's 2 plus ups. I think I'd like to try just a bit of butter lettuce. A nice bit of moisture, a bit of crunch, to round out the richness of the mayonnaise and the sweetbreads. And then in another direction, a tiny bit of curry, masala curry, just because that's got a little, not so much spice, but a little warmth. It's got a little roundness, and I think that might also go well. So now I'm going to try the sandwich with the 2 plus ups. First with a little bit of lettuce, and now with the garam masala, just a hint of garam masala. Oh, lovely! Both of those absolutely spectacular. Again, the lettuce just brings everything together. Get a little moisture on the tongue that with the celery doesn't really provide that. And with the garam masala, you know, you have the bite of the sandwich, and like after you're tasting all the sweetbreads, you get this taste at the end of the mouth, and it's got a little bit of, you know, cinnamon and all those round spices and warm spices make it really fabulous. So to score the sandwiches. Well, if you really hate offal, this is not a sandwich for you, obviously, but I think try it. Sweetbreads are really very delicate. So they're not overpowering, not strong, not difficult to enjoy at all. I think the original sandwich, I'd give that 6.5, 7 easily. Plussed up with the lettuce, 7.5. And same plussed up with the garam masala, 7.5, maybe even 8.